Welcome back to this week's podcast. We're going to go ahead and just be talking about. I know things have been so crazy. It has been a lot of things going on all at once. It's January 26th, 2026. And it has been a whirlwind. Okay, it's a whirlwind of emotions and things. And today I wanted to really talk about the importance of taking social media breaks and also like the consequences of sharing your values, right? I know all of us have a business, but sometimes there's consequences for sharing what you believe in. And I also want to dive into like how that affects your business, okay? Because I know sometimes we're scared speaking up our values or our beliefs because we're scared how it will affect and impact our businesses. So I also wanted to share a little behind the scenes of how it has helped me to connect with the right people, to attract the right people, and being okay with not being digestible. And what I mean by not being digestible is being okay that not everybody's going to agree with you, right? So with that, let's get started. I shared a story on my Instagram about an incident that happened going to the nail salon, and it had to do, trigger warning with a whole like ice situation from a total complete stranger, another nail customer in that salon. It was just her and I and her husband there. And you can go check it out on my Instagram. The story's there. It's posted. It's a post. And really, like the moral of the story of that whole thing, I'm not going to go into it. You can go read it if you want to, but is that we need to be okay with being different and having different of opinions and having hard conversations in a kind way. And I know it can be very hard to do so, but because I was in a public space and I was in a nail salon, I feel like we both kind of had to, right? And even in that post, I talked like the old me would have like bitched her out, be like, what the hell's going on here, right? But instead, my curious self, and because I've done my own work, which, going to therapy and healing myself and loving my shadow self has anger. So anger is like that bad part of me, which really is not. It has helped me to do so many beautiful things in life because I transform and redirect that energy, right? Instead of yelling at somebody, I can use that energy for good. That's how I try to utilize it. I learned that her and I don't agree on certain things, but we were able to have a conversation about why we disagree in things. And at the end of the story, I ended up into sharing that she tells me straight up that she's the one who's scared, And so it was so interesting just having the conversation, being able to disagree. We were able to come to the conclusion that she's scared. So now I understood it had nothing really to do with me. It's just that she really was projecting and she was feeling she's scared. Okay. With everything going on, it was really hard. I just, about everything going on, I'm just like, we need to come together. And I have hope that we can get through this and come closer and be able to find a resolution for all the horrible things going on because it's not okay. People are getting hurt, people are scared, people are being affected, businesses are being affected. So I spoke up on it. And this is what happened. This is not the first time I spoke about something that I don't agree with, and I lost followers. The last time I spoke out about something, and it happened to be in my stories, I lost like 44 followers. Okay. This time when I spoke up, I lost followers again. I need to look through my analytics. It'll tell me at the end of the month how many I lost, and I'll let you all know how many it was. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because people that for me is that we're all human, okay? We all have a humanity, and there are levels of ethics and values that I expect for myself and for other people around me. And if people don't agree with that, that's okay, but I don't want them in my energy or my circle, right? And they're allowed to unfollow me. They're allowed to disagree and say, you know what, like you're talking about this, like bye. That's okay. I'm cool with that. And I wanted to share that because it is hard. It is hard when like you have your business. It's hard when you're self-employed. I understand. Or sometimes it's hard because you're like, shit, I don't want this to end up affecting my kids. In my instance, I have three kids. Like, I don't want to affect my kids or my husband, but that's my belief. It's my consequences to my business, right? And I wanted to share the other beautiful side of this too. Because I've shared my beliefs, it also has attracted clients and clients that respect me and value me and agree with me and work with me because of my values, because they know where I stand. Okay, so speaking up for your values in your business, I know it can be very scary, but it also have the beautiful effect of attracting the right people to work with you. It's not all scary and like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose followers. And it doesn't have to be done in like a mean, hateful way, right? Like I always say, hate creates more hate. Um, I have been in different points of my life, and I don't know why, where I've dealt with a lot of discrimination and being harassed, for color of my skin, for being Latina, for whatever, the case it may be, people's, like own, you know, beliefs, and just what I've learned through all of it is like hating somebody is only going to harm you. And unity is what ends up finding you peace and ends up finding the momentum for change. And I was just thinking about back in when I went through the whole like claim with, being harassed and discriminated against because I'm Latina at a workplace and a lot of places at a school. And I was thinking how like unity is what made that change, right? I was able like to win that case because two people that work with me were able to speak up and they could have lost their jobs, but instead of just keeping it to themselves, they ended up writing about it and letting them know, hey, she's not crazy. Like this is what we've been seeing, this is what's going on. So they were able to spoke up on the truth and it helped me and it helped me, because of all this, I was able to talk to, get help to deal with all this stuff from a, like psychologist. And it helped me learn that I have value as a human. And it helped me learn that I have rights as a human. And it helped me to fight for my rights too, which was really hard for me. And it took a big toll physically for me, like my migraines when it really started when all that thing happened. And because of that and the PTSD of not wanting to be in an office is why I ended up getting like that final push to become a hairstylist. It was like the final push. That's not the reason why I became a hairstylist, but it was the final push that pushed me to become a hairstylist. Um, and I just think it's so important that if you are not ready to talk about it, if you're not ready to voice your values or opinions, that's okay too. And I really want to talk about this too because I was thinking about it. I'm like, dude, like if I hadn't have gotten like I've been in and out of therapy now for years for different things in my life, not just that, but other things that have happened. And I'm like, I've had to do a lot of hard work in like, working with therapists, doing shadow work, learning, to heal my inner child, my, like in, like younger self, traumas and things. And I'm like, dude, like if I hadn't had done all the work, I wouldn't able to speak up. And there are people that are dealing with their own hard things in life, and with all this stuff going on this month, honestly, like I know I haven't posted or even like been on the podcast because it has been so hard. Like I have family members, like went through hard shit. There's people like some of my family members that I don't talk to anymore. Um, they've been diagnosed with like terminal illness, and like and some of them are all other ones are sick, and some other ones that I really love, I'm close to, are getting sick and are changing. And it has just been like so many things where honestly, I'm like, I didn't even have the energy to be able to put into the podcast. And I decided to show up because I didn't want to show up in that energy. And also, I needed time to like grieve and be sad and process all this stuff. Plus, I was sick for like 3 months with like COVID and then the two freaking flus that went around. So it has been a lot. And the only reason why I'm sharing that with you in the podcast today is because if you're going through a lot, you get to take time off and the world and your business will still function. I just did a class today and I'll put the link below if you want to sign up. And it's just 2026 Marketing Without Social Media. That was an intuitive class. And I'm actually, you just have to sign up for it, put in your email address, and I'll send you the class. And it's because I have systems in place that don't rely on social media, I'm able to do this. And I'm like, crap, dude, as a collective right now, we're going through hard things. And some of us don't even have the energy to go on Instagram and post or go on TikTok if that's where your clients find you, or go on Snapchat if that's where your clients find you, or, wherever it is that your clients find you, because we should know that, right? Um, and asking your contact form, if you're like, Celeste, how do you know that? Asking your contact form, please put in your contact form, where did you find me? That's it. They will answer it. Don't think the limiting belief that it'll deter people from booking from you. Not true. They will answer it. Um, But I just think it's so important that we start utilizing other tools. And it's okay that you don't want to be on social media. It's okay if you don't want to talk about it because you're going through hard things like I was or like I am. Or you haven't done, the work, or you have like other things that it triggers, and like, and I just been really thinking about that too, like I'm a US citizen. I was born here, not here, but I was born in New York. But I lived in Guatemala. I lived in a third world country for 6 years of my childhood life. And, like I've never really, I don't think I've addressed it in a podcast, but, like I was deported from Guatemala back to the US with my sister because we didn't have papers. And I laughed because I'm like, how stupid, right? Like two little kids, you're going to send them off. And that, we were lucky we had my mom's friend here, Tom, which he ended up, adopting us. And I'll call him Grandpa Tom. Um, to take care of us. But I was just like, shit, like all this shit going on right now raises a lot of things in me. But I'm not angry about it because I learned to heal about it and I've learned a lot of lessons from the hard things. So I understand that there's people that don't want to speak up about it because we don't know, right? Like you see somebody, you may see me, you're like, she hasn't dealt with things, like, and I have, and it's like, but we don't know. And not everybody's ready to speak up, nor does anybody have to share their story with us, right? And that's where like having empathy for others, knowing that other people are dealing with other things that we have no idea about. So let's be kind. And I'm not here to judge people who don't want to talk about it, what's going on right now here in the US. Um, I'm just here to say, like, we to give each other grace. And it's okay if you need to take a break from social. Like, I've been taking a lot of breaks. I actually deleted one of my um, social media accounts, like I just deleted the app because I'm like, I don't have energy for you. And I know not a lot of business comes from you, but I don't have energy from you. Like, I'm taking you off my list. So, like, I don't care. And if I end up losing more followers on that account, who cares? Like, I need my well-being and my peace of mind. I'm so happy that I have systems in place that don't rely on social. So, wherever you're at, please take time to take care of yourself. It's okay if you want to take social media breaks. If you already have an existing book of business or you're good with what you've booked so far for 2026, and you're like, you know what, I'm good, I'm golden. Amazing. You don't even have to show up on there. Okay. So just take care of yourself during this hard time. So remember, it's okay. Like it has happened so many different times in my life where I've had like to take breaks because there's some deep shit going on personally, things that I've never even shared here on the podcast. But you know what I've learned from that? Every time I take a break, it's like the universe and God blesses me, and I still get inquiries. Like even when I was sick, I still got inquiries for and bookings for weddings, right? Although I wasn't posting because I was sick. Or when I'm down and sad, I'm like, I just don't have the energy to book. Then people are contacting me, my clients for my hair coloring clients and all this stuff. Like all this abundance comes in different waves and things. Um, and I'm actually working right now on something behind the scenes, and I'll share with you once it's done. But it happened also in this period of like, I don't have energy to put on social media right now. I don't have the energy to be posting all the time, and all this stuff is going on. And I'm okay with that, right? Like my bridal business, my Instagram for that one is like I'm taking it way more slower this year because I'm like, right now I'm dealing with a lot of emotions. So I just want to be, and it is like celebrating weddings. Like you think about it, it's such a beautiful thing, but also you need to be in the right state of mind, right? People are happy, they're excited for that. I'm not going to be posting on there, at least for me. I'm just talking about myself. I'm not gonna post when I'm like, fuck, well, everything's heavy right now, right? I'm gonna take time to process that before I go back in there. Um, but that was just my perspective, and that's why I wanted to share this with you today. That if you're going through a hard time, please like ask for help, ask for support. I really hope that that class that I put up today, Marketing Without Social Media for 2026, helps you. You can go ahead and sign up below. And ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. And I've been working with a coach right now about business, like money, money, managing your money, money stories. And I've been learning so much from everybody in that group as well of like how we're all interconnected and how no matter how different we are, there's so many similarities, so many things that we share as humans. No matter our ethnicity or our background, there are many things that connect us, and what affects one person always affects all of us. So much love. And I'll come back here next week to share back to the marketing sustainably without social media. We'll go ahead and get started for that for next month in February. So thank you so much for being a part of the journey, and I will see you back here next week. Bye, love.